Hi, my name is Callie Hofer, and I did my midterm presentation on the Somalian gangs in Minnesota. In this bottom corner, you can see Somalia on the map, and then up in the top corner, you can see Minnesota on the map. Okay, so kind of to give a detail of what the Somali gangs are in Minnesota, there are groups of Somalis who are being questioned about stealing $300 million from the taxation method in Minnesota. So, as of early 2026, there has supposedly been daycares run by Somalians that are being questioned for fraud. There have been a whole bunch of different things kind of said about it. I guess there is not one way to think about it, but they have been being questioned for fraud, and the reason they have been questioned for fraud is because of a influencer that showed up to some of the daycares and there was not any kids there that they were able to see. Um, I go into this influencer a little bit on later in the presentation, so I'll just save that information for when I get there. But people have gone to these daycares and they have not seen kids, so they are being questioned for fraud. Just some details about Somalians in Minnesota. An estimated 260,000 people of Somali descent were living in the U.S. in 2024. I did not find any recent ones of 2026, how many people live, so I just went on 2024 as it was the most recent numbers that I could find. The largest population is in the Minneapolis and St. Paul area, which is home to 84,000 residents. And just for a little more background of Somalis in the United States, Ohio, Washington, and California also have significant populations. Okay, the causes of kind of the not outbreak, but kind of it being more commonly known about what is going on. So, President Trump threatened to strip temporarily legal protections from Somali immigrants living in Minnesota, and Trump and other conservatives have also recently seized on criminal investigations and reports of fraud in Minnesota's social service system, which has kind of put a tamper on the entire community. So, this has just to kind of go with the causes, it has kind of led to a big social problem. There are many different opinions as there is for everything in the world. So I feel people will never agree on one thing, people will never see eye to eye on it. So I think everyone will always just kind of have their own opinions about things like this. Okay, so impacts. On January 13th, 2026, the Trump administration announced the termination of temporary protected status for Somali nationals, requiring individuals to deport the United States by March 17th, 2026, unless they are able to secure immigration status. So this has probably been heard by probably majority of all of us. It has been on the news. It has just kind of been something taking over the world recently, and this kind of results with like ICE and things like that. Again, everyone has their own opinions to that, so I'm not going to go too much into detail with either things just to keep it kind of everyone having their own opinion. So the Trump administration wants to make it that the Somalis would be deported unless they can secure immigration status. And deporting has just been kind of happening all around the world recently. It is something, again, everyone has their own opinion on, and everyone always will. But deporting can affect everyone in a sense. It can affect you if you agree with it, it can affect you if you don't agree with it, it can affect you if someone from your family got deported. It's just something that kind of affects everyone overall at some point. So, just some statistics of the Somalis in Minnesota. The female age of 18 to 64 years is 18,471, and the male age of 18 to 64 years is 15,728. Then I did a little bit of research about poverty, and I just thought this would go good with everything we've been learning recently. So there are 34.2% that are below poverty. and at or above 200% of poverty is 37.9%. The household, so marriages, we have also learned about this, so I thought this would be important to learn about. So a married couple is 43.5%. Other family households, so grandparents, cousins, someone that you are related to is 34.4%, and other non-family households is 3.4%. So the prevention, I would probably say more so the prevention of fraud, just to put it so it doesn't sound as bad. The Trump administration announced the termination of temporary protected status for Somali nationals with protection set to end in March 2026, which will force roughly 705 to 2,500 individuals to secure new legal status or face deportation. Something that I found a little saying that President Donald Trump said that I will share. He said that he will immediately be terminating. Again, that's just something that has been going on in the world, that it's something that's gonna happen. I won't go into that again, but another thing that President Trump said is that Somali gangs are terrorizing the people of that great state, and billions of dollars are missing. This kind of goes back with the deporting and how it affects people. Obviously, it's going to affect families, communities. It just affects the world as a whole because no one will ever kind of see eye to eye on that. Solutions. So, federal authorities have planned high priority sweeps in the Minneapolis and St. Paul area, focusing on Somali immigrants living unlawfully in the U.S. and those with final orders of deportation. So, when I was looking at these solutions, it kind of related it more around the fraud than the Somalis themselves. We want to get rid of the fraud that they could be creating, but again, you honestly never really know what could happen in our world. But they plan to target Somalis just to kind of not get rid of them, but if they're unlawfully living in the United States, they plan to deport them. So Nick Shirley, this is actually the influencer that I was talking about at the beginning that I stated. So a viral video went around that Nick Shirley posted confronting different daycares. So I'm sure a lot of us have seen this and kind of don't know what to believe, but I'm just going to kind of share a opinion from both sides. Just kind of what, doing my research, I have learned that other people have kind of thought about it. So someone that may agree with Nick Shirley and say that these daycares are causing fraud. The Nick Shirley went and he confronted these people, and he did not actively see any kids there. So that is what people are thinking, that there are not actually kids there. So they are just using this for money. The other side thinks that having a stranger come up to the door and as we can kind of see in this picture, this guy in this red shirt, I think he was a part of him trying to confront. So if you see people coming up to the door, you may be protecting and not showing the kids just for safety reasons. So I think there has just been a lot of conflict because people aren't sure what to think, or they haven't been able to kind of get a clear understanding. And for the discussion, do you believe that Somalis have created a fraud? Do you think that the daycares are a fraud, or do you think they actually have daycares? This one is just kind of like what you think about the whole situation. Obviously, everyone's entitled to their own opinions, so. And then what could help the world with instances like this? When I say instances like this, I mean like instances where everyone doesn't see the same point of view. Obviously, no one will ever see the same point of view, but what do you think could help the world or communities with things like this? And that is the end. Thank you.